What's up, guys? So, I just finished watching Tua's game against the Cleveland Browns, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm very impressed. He was great. He was legitimately great. And it wasn't just scheme, it wasn't just receivers, and it wasn't just the Browns truly sucking, all of which are totally true. Even though he tailed off in the second half when the game started to be a little bit less serious, I was very impressed. I think that this is probably the most hopeful moment in Tua's entire career, and that includes his time at Alabama. He's been riding the bike with training wheels for the last, 8 weeks with Mike McDaniel, but I think those training wheels are starting to come off, and I think he might actually be learning how to ride a bike. All right, without any further ado, let's get to the film. One, two. So the Dolphins come out running play action. It's basically a two-receiver route, and Tua dumps it off to the running back. Nothing wrong with that. Stay ahead of the chains. It's a pedestrian throw. Efficient, routine. Because Tuanon is insane, I have to remind them that a pedestrian throw is not a bad thing at all. It's a literally neutral thing. It is normal. It is expected. It is staying within the offense. It is game managing. None of these are negative. They're just not positive. Here again, it's a simple swing pass. It's a designed swing pass. Routine. Third and 4, very manageable. Staying ahead of the chains, and a 3-yard curl. Totally pedestrian, totally expected. It's what you want from your quarterback. He's executing the play as it's called. 4th and 1, love Mike McDaniel having the balls to go for it. Absolutely the right decision. What a coach. And look at Tua. This is a nice throw. I think this is great. Line of scrimmage, 40-yard line. Throws it to damn near the other 40-yard line. 20 yards downfield with zip in a tight window. That's a great throw. Legitimately. That's not play calling. That's not a receiver making a play. That is a great throw. This Browns defensive line is just in shambles. I know they got Myles Garrett, but he's not on the field. And I know they got Jadeveon Clowney, but he's not on the field. And then their defensive tackles are just so bad. Like, honestly, and this is nothing against Tua at all, if Mike McDaniel's smart, he'll just keep on running the ball up the gut, because I legitimately don't think that the Browns can stop them. Note that there's still no Clowney or Garrett on the field for the Browns. So this is nice. Look at that pocket maneuvering. That's a plus movement if I ever seen one. Really good job to pump fake there. Get the ball out on a pedestrian throw, however, still a good play. Does the fullback create a little bit? Do a little bit after the catch? Absolutely. Does Tua deserve a touchdown pass for this play? I don't know. What is a touchdown pass really worth? What does it mean? I don't care about the stats, so to me, nothing. But that pocket manipulation, really, really good. And that throw to 14, his name escapes me. Oh, I've actually liked the way he's played this year. Regardless, number 14, that rip into the second level of the defense, great. This drive by Tua, legitimately good. So the Browns fumble, the Dolphins recover the ball. Decent field position, not great. And Mike McDaniel's doing that thing where he just runs, because why not? It's a good throw. You got to catch that, Waddle. It's a legitimately good throw. So it's like an extended RPO, which means that in the tight copy, it's going to look a little bit more open than it is. Like, the leverage is impeccable. But the fact that he gets it over the linebacker, the fact that it's a little further downfield, that is a solid throw. And Waddle's got to catch that. That's a false start by the left tackle. I guess we're not going to call it. That's a great throw by Tua. God damn, Tua. 35-yard line's the line of scrimmage. Gets caught at the 45-yard line. So it's about a 20-yard pass, and he fits it right in there. Is it his first read? Yes. But it's a really good throw. It's a great throw. Look at Tua. I'm not gonna lie. So far, this is the best I've ever seen him. And of course, as I say that, that's a bad throw. But those things happen. You know, we're not even gonna call it too. We're not gonna grade it because it was a false start, and for all I know, Tua simply gave up on the play halfway through his throw. Not his fault. 9 yards a rush for the Dolphins. That's just incredible. Ooh, we got a double pass here. Or maybe we don't. Nah, that would have been a tough throw for a wide receiver. But he did have a guy in the back of the end zone. A little plus movement, but that's a bad throw. Just didn't have the arm. And that happens. Ooh, that's not a good throw. But it is a really good job to avoid Myles Garrett. So we give him a plus movement for getting the ball out over Myles Garrett's head without getting it batted. And we'll give him a pedestrian throw, because while that was a very difficult catch for the running back, it was tough to get the ball out. I'm impressed that he even got the ball out. And it was a quick decision, knowing he was hot, knowing who his release valve was, knowing he was hot as in knowing that there was quick pressure. So far, Tua's been legitimately great. So the Browns turn the ball over on downs. Dolphins get the ball with great field position. That's a solid throw, but just look at how much Tyreek Hill backs off the defensive back. That is insane. God, and that's with illegal contact. Let's watch this replay. Tyreek Hill backs Greg Newsome off for 3 yards of separation on a curl? On a curl? It's a solid throw. But holy shit, did Tyreek Hill make that easy? Honestly, it might even be pedestrian. We'll give it solid because I've been impressed by what Tua's done so far today, and I just want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But boy, Tyreek Hill. Check out Tua here during this quarterback sneak. This is brilliant. Looking like Buzz Lightyear checking out his wristband. Did that not work? I guess it didn't work. That sucks. Because it was really clever. Oh, that really sucks. So consecutive turnovers on downs. All right, well, that drive certainly wasn't Tua's fault. Just didn't quite work out. All right, 2-minute drill. We're gonna see some throwing. Just a very simple pedestrian throw. I know he pump fakes. I don't think it was really necessary. I don't think it actually helped him. Jesus. Grant Delpit just got fucking torched. Look at this. First of all, there was confusion. Look at this scheme. So basically, Gesicki's going to run a corner. Tyreek Hill's going to run a little in route underneath of it. So it's a scissor concept effectively. We've got two zone defenders here, and they have to pick which one they're going with. Now, if they knew the play beforehand, the outside corner would just drop into Gesicki's corner, and the linebacker would drive up into Tyreek Hill. That being said, you then have Tyreek Hill on a linebacker, and if, God forbid, you can get the ball to him, yards after the catch. Brilliant play design. But, which is more likely, Gesicki's probably going to leak out here. Tyreek Hill's going to draw both of these zone defenders, and you're going to have a wide open tight end. And that's exactly what happens. The gravity of Tyreek Hill draws both defenders away, giving Tua an extremely easy throw to Gesicki. That's pedestrian. That's so easy. Delpit doesn't pick up on this in time, running his too high shell, right? He's got half field coverage, which means he's back here, and he's guarding everything on this side of the hash marks. He doesn't pick up on this. He backs up into a halo coverage, just trying not to get beat deep, and therefore gives up the 10-15 yard easy completion. This play is made by Tyreek Hill. This play is made by Mike McDaniel, and Tua executes it to a T. Haha, to a T. No, like, Tua did everything he was supposed to on this play. He left nothing on the table. But simply executing a play is not necessarily a good thing. It's also definitely not a bad thing. It's simply a thing. Here's a bad throw. It's too high. There was probably some contact, but it doesn't matter because it was still too high even if he wasn't touched. It's a bad throw. These things happen. Second and 10. Nice little pedestrian throw. That's it. Sherfield. I love Sherfield. I don't love Sherfield, but I think that he's really useful as a wide receiver 3, and I did not expect that. Here, Tua's a little hot, and ooh, zinger. Look at that. Look at him drive that ball to the outside. Okay, so that's a plus move because there is a defender right near him. He doesn't have time to wait. He's got to get it out. And there's not as much zip as I would love on that ball. Like, I would like more zip, but that is a lot of zip for Tua with perfect placement. That is a solid throw. Really good. Like, that's impressive. Tua has been legitimately excellent in this game. This first half is great. Just check it down, pedestrian. You don't have too much room to, you're already right near the goal line. Just tap it in. Oh, and instead of tapping it in, Tua goes for the throat. What a throw. What a catch. It's a great play. He got in, right? I swear he got in. Give my man Sherfield his roses. Both feet. Nice. Very nice. All right, let's watch the full play one more time. Ball's at like the 15-yard line. Throws it to the back of the end zone. It's like a 25-yard throw. We're going to give it an elite. That's a great throw. It's perfect placement. It's perfect timing. It wasn't that far downfield. And Emerson right there, number 23, he fucked up. He misplayed the receiver and therefore the ball. But it's a great throw. It's a perfect throw. To the back of the end zone. Got to give him a little boost for the touchdown. Elite throw. All right, so first half, I think that's going to be it for Tua in the first half. Just ballpark. We're talking Tua's at like a plus 8.5. That's an A+ first half of football. Great job by Tua. And the game's already starting to get out of hand, so I don't see any reason it should stop. Tua just swings it out. Pedestrian. Now, the problem with being so dominant in the first half is I don't expect that the Dolphins will need Tua to do too much in the second half. But as it stands, he's got an A+, and he's going to have to fuck something up to not have an A+ on the game. It's a positive movement, pedestrian throw, working through his progressions. Tua doesn't have to read his progressions too often. Almost always he's throwing to the first read because the offense is so well designed and the first read is typically Tyreek Hill, who's unstoppable. And God forbid it's not Tyreek Hill, it's Jalen Waddle, who's unstoppable. That's a very solid throw. Solid throw. I love the pump fake to hold the linebacker. It's a plus move and a solid throw. Yeah, it's nice to be reminded every once in a while that when Tua does have to process things, he's still good at it. He's not a bad processor, never was. So, yeah, this is an A+ game so far. I'm actually astounded. All right, the Dolphins use some motion. Now Tua knows that it's zone, makes his reads easier. He's on the first read the whole time. And that's a bad throw. You got to throw that a little earlier if you're Tua. So I'm not going to break out the all-22. I just feel like that's indulgent. But right here, right here you can see that Tyreek is starting to pass the corner. If the ball is like 5-10 yards downfield and Tyreek Hill can continue at full speed, he can burn this corner, and that can be a touchdown. But as it stands, Tua does not have the arm. He doesn't let Tyreek... You see how Tyreek Hill slows up a little bit? Like right here, he stops running. That allows the corner back into the play. That is why it's broken up. There's no shame in that. It was a really aggressive throw. Let's go back. There's no shame in this because it's a really aggressive throw. It is what? 25 to 30. It is a 45-yard throw. It's tough, right? Anything longer than 50 yards downfield is legitimately difficult because you got to add in like the 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage too. It's like 60 air yards. That's really tough. This is a 55 air yard throw from launch point. I understand. Like, it's not like, oh, Tua's got such a weak arm. Like, it was underthrown, but it was also difficult to throw this ball in stride. Realistically, the reason that this is a bad play is because Tua bit off more than he could chew, and he probably knew it as soon as he let the ball go. Like, only a few guys in the league have this kind of arm, and I'm not one of them. But it is bad. He could have taken a check down. He could have done a lot of other things, right? He had zone coverage. He did not have to go deep. Here, it's a bad throw. It's just not catchable, but it is a plus pocket movement. He did a really good job to get the ball away. Here's another great pocket manipulation and a solid throw. Again, the play design here, the extended play action, the underneath curl against zone, getting Tyreek Hill on linebackers. Holy fucking shit, look at him run. There's maybe 2 other players in the NFL who don't get tackled right after that catch. That is incredible burst, acceleration, agility, all. He's the best player in the NFL, for my money, Tyreek Hill. Pedestrian throw. Nice to see Cedric Wilson getting back in the mix. God damn, is this Dolphins offense going to be lethal if Cedric Wilson becomes, what he was last year, if he really blossoms into that player again. Nobody will be able to catch any of their top 3 receivers if that's the case. Disgusting. Pedestrian throw. Tua does a really good job of looking off the receiver, or looking off the defender by looking at his fullback, but it's like a 3-yard curl, man. It's just, you don't have to be that intensive to complete a 3-yard curl. And that's, so I have a hard time judging fade balls because they're so easy. I'd say that's a pedestrian throw and a good pass breakup. That's not on Tua. That's not even on Gesicki, really. It's kind of just on the linebacker making a great play, being more athletic than you would expect. The ball could have been a little higher, could have been a little bit more outside, sure. Yeah, maybe on second review, maybe that was kind of bad. Yeah, you got to put that a little higher. Gesicki's not high pointing the ball, right? Like he's high pointing the ball, but he's not high pointing himself. He's not extended. He's not up all the way. You're not utilizing your height advantage. It's close, but that's a bad throw. Yeah. I'd like to see that ball a little higher and a little bit more outside. But he gets his pedestrian throw there with a plus pocket move to avoid, dropping back, avoiding the pressure, fade away. Fade away. Tua still played really, really, really well. Really well. Like, this is, off the top of my head, probably an A+ game. All right, 30-17, and they still want to sling it. And it's just overthrown. Bad throw. They get a roughing the passer? Wow. Okay. Well, Tua gets no credit for the roughing the passer. He does get credit for the bad throw. Some sins don't get paid for, and that's okay. I guess we'll give Tua a plus pocket movement for standing in and taking a hit that eventually became an unnecessary roughness. And there, I understand there was an offsides. We're still going to grade that play as bad because it's not like I have a rule typically if it's a free play and the quarterback clearly knows it's a free play and throws something downfield, I'll give him credit for it. Tua threw a check down. He did not go deep. He had deep receivers as decoys. If he had just heaved it to them and it got picked, I would not grade it against him. But because it was a check down, because it was such a bad throw, I'm going to grade it as bad. Wow, Trent Sherfield, my man. Look at this. So we're talking like 10 yards downfield. We're just as far as the throw goes. 10 yards downfield, wide open, pedestrian throw. Good release, good timing, but just a pedestrian throw. It's an RPO. But Trent Sherfield getting you 10 extra yards he didn't fucking pay for. That's nice. I'm really glad they showed this tight copy because RPOs always look like tight windows. They look really cool and difficult because they require a quick release and some velocity. But look how wide open that receiver is. If it was just a regular slant that developed slowly and he was that wide open, nobody would ever think twice about calling that a very average throw. Jimmy Garoppolo is the king of RPO passes on inside slants that people think are tight window until you watch the tight copy on the All-22 and you realize, oh, that's actually not impressive. Trent Sherfield, you got to shut up, man. You did the good play. Now be quiet or go to your sideline and talk that shit. Oh, no. He did the mic drop. Everybody knows the mic drop is what's crippling American youth. You got to penalize him for that, of course. Pedestrian throw. Not that any of you guys asked, but my take on unsportsmanlike conduct penalties is you don't want shit getting out of hand. So I understand you have to regulate a little bit. They're mostly stupid, but like you know that's a penalty, so why would you fucking do it? Here we got a solid throw. Tua utilizing leverage. What do I mean by utilizing leverage? Well, I mean if Tua throws it upfield, because this is originally a corner, right? If Tua throws this upfield, leading him like a corner, he's not going to catch the ball, right? Because this cornerback can get on him. But because he realizes that he's got outside leverage, Waddle flattens the route out, turning it into more of an out instead of a corner, and Tua puts it on him. Very solid throw. The intricacies of chemistry, like when people talk, oh, like they've got good chemistry, that's what chemistry is. All right, typically I'd call this a quarterback sack because he did just like go down and not even try to throw the ball away. But when you have a 13-point lead late in the fourth quarter in the red zone, this is actually the smart play. Lay down, don't fucking risk it, don't get hurt. So I'm going to call that a no-fault quarterback sack, and I'm even going to give him a plus movement for being able to recover that terrible snap. I don't think I have to tell you that's a real bad throw. All right, so the Dolphins, see, this is the thing. If Tua risks getting hurt, risks fumbling, risks throwing the ball away improperly, maybe that field goal doesn't happen. But when you know you've got a field goal in hand and 13 points extra on the board, you know you can make it a 2-score game no matter what with an easy field goal. Don't fucking risk it. Good job by Tua. It's smart. Remember when I said that Mike McDaniel might be smart to just keep on running? Nothing to grade from Tua's end here. This is just, I think the Browns gave up. I legitimately think that this is the Browns saying, okay, fuck it. We don't care. Because look at nobody trying. Nobody hustling to the ball. Cornerbacks even stop running when they see that there's a single blocker. It's Tyreek Hill. Not an imposing man, but they see that it's Tyreek Hill running and they're like, fuck it. Let him have the touchdown. And all of a sudden, this game is a clowning. Oh! Speaking of clowns. Come on, buddy. All right, I'm not great at math, but 4 minutes left in the game. 39-17, that's a lot to a little. And Skylar Thompson has come in relief of Tua. So the film is over. Time to get to the charts. So as you can see here, I ended up giving Tua a B+ for this performance, and I know that after the first half, I had said that he was on pace for an A, maybe even an A+. That being said, he only had 2 inaccurate passes at that point in the game, and he already had both of his great throws. Like he emptied the chamber early. His accuracy percentage dropped precipitously from the first half to the second half, and a lot of that is because he was trying much more aggressive throws. He had a few downfield throws, like deep downfield throws, that were a little bit ill-advised and a little bit underthrown. So it was a combination of just being unnecessarily aggressive and not really having the arm talent to get away with it. That being said, this was still a great game from Tua. This is easily his best game as a pro. I was really, really impressed. He made some throws that I did not think were emblematic of his game. Those great throws to Sherfield and to Waddle about 20 yards downfield, attacking that second level behind the linebackers. That is what separates okay quarterbacks from really good quarterbacks, right? That is the kind of stuff that a Tom Brady has, ridden to the heights of the NFL. So we saw some really encouraging things on film from Tua. The consistency was not quite what you would like, but it was a blowout, right? He didn't really have to do that much. Like, the hay was in the barn by the time the second half rolled around. Sure, it was only like a 10, 13-point game, but it felt a lot less close than that. Especially when you factor in a couple of long runs that occurred in the second half for touchdowns. Tua didn't have to do anything. So he wasn't great when asked to do things in the second half, but the pressure was really, it's one of those things where when you're given a very easy assignment, it's easy to make easy mistakes. So I get it. I'm not going to really knock him for it. I still give him a B+ because he had exactly as many positive plays as negative plays, and he wasn't actually very accurate on the whole. He was actually less accurate in this game as a percentage than he typically is in an average game this year. I've graded every game Tua has played this year. As you can see from this chart, his accuracy percentage, so that's just the percent of aimed passes, we don't count throwaways, the percent of aimed passes that are on target and reasonably catchable is 71% for Tua. It's a little lower than average, but he's got a couple of stinkers against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh that are screwing up that average, right? Like, typically, he's in the high 70s, mid 70s. That being said, 71% accuracy in this game, when he usually does about 71.3, slightly below average. Exactly as many positive plays as negative plays. That is the definition of average. That is what I call DACing, where you are completely replacement level. And his cheap play rate was still a 42%, which is actually very low for him, but still a pretty high number, right? This is not like Marcus Mariota, where everything is either bombs or screens. All in all, it gives him a slugging of about 6.5. That slugging typically would translate to about a B. Typically having exactly equal positive and negative play rates would lend itself to a C grade. But when you take into context the fact that the Dolphins were dominating this game and it was never really in doubt, it would be silly not to give him at least a B+, which is the threshold for me for a great performance. If you get a B+, A-, that is a great performance. And A+ is just transcendent. A+ performances are reserved for when you either throw downfield all day and just don't miss, or when you are working with extremely difficult circumstances such as lesser talent. For instance, Justin Herbert against the 49ers with backup wide receivers and backup tackles still managed to lead several scoring drives against the best defense in the NFL based solely upon his transcendence, him making big downfield throws and him almost never missing. Here, Tua didn't have to do that. If he was asked to do that, maybe he could have, but he simply wasn't. We can only go off of what we saw on film. As I said, this is easily the most encouraging film I've ever seen from Tua, and that includes when he was at Alabama. This is a really, really, really good game by Tua, and I don't want to take away from that. A B+ is absolutely nothing to scoff at. He had the elite throw to Sherfield in the back of the end zone. Chef's kiss. It was lovely, bellissimo. The two great throws, the one to Sherfield and the one to Waddle, both of which were drive throws on in-breaking routes about 15, 20 yards downfield, and then he missed 9 times. He only missed twice in the first half, so 7 of these came into the second half. A couple of them were on swing passes that he just simply missed. A couple of them were on deep shots that he probably shouldn't have taken, especially given his amount of arm talent. If he was Josh Allen, maybe you go for it because you can just throw it so high and far that Tyreek Hill eventually gets under it, but in the circumstances, it was a bad decision. Granted, he was playing with house money, and he probably took that into account. He probably stepped back and thought, dude, fuck it, we're winning by 2 touchdowns. They can't move the ball. I'm just going to sling it and see what happens, because this is practice now, right? When you got a big lead like that, you're just trying to work out the kinks and develop some shit for next week. That's why I don't want to penalize him too much. So, Tua did really well. This is the first time where I actually understand giving him a high PFF grade. I actually understand being excited about him as a Dolphins fan. It strikes me that after half a season of working with elite receivers and an elite coach, Tua might be building a little bit of confidence, getting in a little bit of a rhythm. And it's a legitimate thing. Look at what Alex Smith did. He played in Kansas City for a few years with Andy Reid and Tyreek Hill, putting up the best stats he's ever put up, and he turned himself into a legitimately better quarterback for having been in such opportune situations. Now, he was never good. Remember, Andy Reid and Tyreek Hill turned Alex fucking Smith into the second place MVP vote, right? So coaching and receivers can do a lot. I mean, Travis Kelce had a hand in that too. Let's not forget our boy Trav. But the point of that story is that when Alex Smith left and went to Washington, a much lesser team with much lesser weapons, he was still a lot better than the quarterback who left San Francisco. He was improved by having been in such opportune scenarios for a while. And that makes sense, right? We like to talk in a derogatory fashion about offenses that have training wheels for their quarterbacks, and Tua absolutely has been riding the bike with training wheels this season. Mike McDaniel's been making things really easy. He's been simplifying the amount of reads and progressions that Tua has to make. And then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle just refuse to stop being open and also making great catches. Like, it's training wheels if I ever seen them. But most of us learned how to ride a bike by riding with training wheels. It works. Like, if you ride with training wheels long enough, eventually you gain confidence and you gain a little bit of an understanding of how things work, and all of a sudden you can ride without the training wheels. And we might be seeing Tua take those training wheels off, or at least loosen them up a little bit, and getting better. It could also just be that the Browns really, really stink, and they were getting no pass rush Tua had all day. The coverage was soft, so Tua could throw underneath leverage, which is his favorite thing to do, and the receivers are still just that much better. I guess we'll find out as the season progresses, but for the first time ever, arrow up, stock up, Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not buying because my priors are very strong, but I sure wouldn't blame you if you wanted to. All right, disagree with any of these plays? Throw it in the comments. It's going to be hard for Tuanon to hate on this because I'm actually really impressed, but I'm sure they'll find something. Anyways, till next time, Asta.